Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here barefaced and ready for a tutorial. I figured, you know what, it's been a little while since I've actually applied makeup to my face on camera. I've done a lot of declutter videos, a lot of like talking about product videos, favorites, all my usual, but I haven't really put those products on my face. So in this video, I thought I would incorporate some of the products I've recently talked to you guys about and just like show you me applying them to my face. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. There's also some brand new products in this tutorial as well, so you guys will get a sneak peek at some new products. Exciting. I used a purple shampoo today and it like really toned out my hair. Like, I feel like it looks darker, but it's not. I just used a purple shampoo. Anyways, okie dokie, let's go ahead and get started. So I always start out by priming my face. Now the first primer is one that I haven't applied on camera or talked about really, except for in my haul, my Sephora haul. This is the Farsali Unicorn Essence Skin Enriching Antioxidant Serum. You guys have corrected me, it's serum, not serum. So actually when I was at Sephora, I asked them, I was on the hunt for a new serum, a new daytime serum, because I've been using vitamin C serums. I've talked about this in a couple of videos, so sorry to be repetitive if you watch all my videos. But I've been using vitamin C serums and I feel like they're breaking my skin out. And I thought like, okay, you know, maybe I just need to go through a purging phase. And I feel like my skin just, it's been a couple of months and it's still breaking out. So I don't know, I think my skin just doesn't really like vitamin C. It does definitely brighten the skin, but anyways, long story short, I went on a hunt to find a new serum, and this is called Unicorn Essence Serum. So I figured it was a serum and they were like, no, it's a primer. So I've been using it as a primer. So I've already applied skincare and all that, moisturizer, and this is applied on top of all that. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's okay. I really want to try the one in the blue container. That's supposed to be like a blurring, pore minimizing one. Okay, this hair keeps falling out. I also have my bedroom door kind of cracked open right there. Usually I shut my bedroom door, but today Matt is not here. He's at Costco. In fact, he's probably getting me a hot dog right about now. I told him I wanted a hot dog. Costco hot dogs are so inexpensive, you guys. It's $1.50 and you get a hot dog, like a big hot dog, and a drink for $1.50. So anyways, he's not here, and the dogs are out there eating bones, and sometimes I just like to be able to kind of sort of hear them in case they start choking or something. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay. Nope, not Amazonian Clay. I feel like most of their products have Amazonian Clay, so I just immediately say that. It's the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer Base. I do really like this primer. My two concerns with it are you have to use your fingers. And right now I have like really long nails. I have gel polish on, and it's actually been, this is week 3 of my gel polish, and my nails, needless to say, are super long. So you get stuck under your nails, you're using your fingers, it's just kind of yucky. And then also it can get a little thick. I feel like it cakes up in certain areas, like around my mouth and my eyes for some reason. So I just usually go with my beauty blender and like blend it out, you know what I mean? And then the CoverGirl Lid Lockup Eye Primer has been a favorite of mine. I think kind of like the Tarte though, this can get a little thick. It's much thicker than the NARS one that I usually use. And because it's so thick, I feel like it can sometimes, if I don't blend it out thoroughly, it can kind of cake up. And then when I put eyeshadow on top of it, it just ends up inevitably looking a little bit cakey. So I'll sometimes go in with my beauty blender and just blend it out a little bit. But I mean, for a drugstore, fairly inexpensive primer, like, actually it's very inexpensive. I think it's under $5. So it does the same thing as normal primers. I say normal, my normal primers, like the NARS one. You know, makes the eyeshadow stay on longer, prevents it from creasing, all that jazz. Okay, so now it's time for foundation. Now, Too Faced was so kind. They sent me a package that had a Born This Way foundation, Born This Way concealer, the new one, not the old one. I don't like the old one. And the powder, which I have never tried before. So I'm so stinking excited to try this. I have tried the foundation. I love the foundation. They sent me the color Nude, which is cool toned, which is perfect for me, but it's just a tiny bit darker than my skin tone right now. I think that'll be good for the summertime. This is the color Seashell. So if you're somebody who is like similar skin tone to me and you usually can wear the same exact foundation shade as me, right now I am the color Seashell, which is for, they call it very fair skin with cool undertones. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't think I'm very fair skinned, but their color range is just a little bit, I feel like it runs dark. So anyways, Seashell. I'm gonna use that, and then, okay, to set my under eyes. So yeah, this foundation, I actually really do like it. I feel like it's kind of the happy median between a super lightweight, like BB cream, for example, or even like a watery foundation, and a super heavy foundation. You can kind of get that happy median. And I also, this is one of the very first foundations that I truly feel as though I can get away with using one pump. I put two on the back of my hand just because I feel like it's just like, what's it called, muscle memory for me to squirt two pumps of any foundation on the back of my hand. But this one truly does go so far. Like, I'm definitely not going to use all that on the back of my hand. A little goes a long way, and I truly can get away with only using one pump, which I think is pretty stinking good because then it'll last a really long time. So, I probably should not have worn a turtleneck, huh? Ooh, I always drag my foundation down just to make sure it matches my neck. Ooh, it's sliding off my hand. Yeah, and I still have a pump, maybe a pump and a half left on the back of my hand. So definitely start with one pump. If you usually use more than one pump, still start with one pump. Like, trust me on this one. So, okay, moving on to concealer. This is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. I use the color 2. I really, really, really enjoy this concealer, you guys. I feel like the color selection isn't the greatest. I wish they had some that had cooler, pinker undertones, but they don't, so, you know, it is what it is. But I just love the way it blends into my skin. I feel like it's not cakey. It provides such good coverage, which you will see here in a minute. It provides great coverage, but it doesn't look heavy and cakey. And sometimes I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape, which is typically what I use, especially when I wear a liquid foundation, I will almost always wear my Tarte Shape Tape. But it can look heavy, it can look cakey. You just have to really, really blend it out and really just focus on making sure you don't cake it up or layer it too much. This one, on the other hand, is fabulous, you guys. Like, it is so good. It's creamy. I don't feel like it's cakey. I just really, really, really like it a lot. I have a feeling this is like going to be my new favorite kind of go-to concealer. It's just so good. I love the Too Faced one too, but the Too Faced one, similar to the Tarte one, I feel can get a little bit cakey if I'm not careful. So, okay. I do have a problem with under eye fine lines, we'll call them. I don't want to call them concealer, or what am I saying? I don't want to call them wrinkles, but smile lines, we'll say that. Okay, so I'm gonna set this because I have to set every single concealer. That's just how I am. So this is brand new. I just got it in the mail this past week. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 4. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why, but I feel like every time I turn the camera on, I just can't talk correctly. It's just, the camera does that to me. So yeah, it's the Volume 4 Hourglass Edit palette. So this is for the holidays this year. They do have another palette, which I pulled out as well. So this one came out before this one. This is the first year I've actually allowed myself to purchase any of the Hourglass holiday products. I feel like they're very overpriced. But I have just really, really, really been loving Hourglass products lately. I love their powders. Their all over face powders, their ambient lighting powders are beautiful. They're really good for, like, I don't want to say aging skin, but I'm aging, I'm 30. So having those super matte powders now isn't always the best look for me. I would rather have more of like a ambient powder. I have to be careful because I don't like glowy. There's a difference between glowy and ambient, and this is the perfect, I love it. And I have oily skin and I still love them. So anyways, because I have picked up this liking to Hourglass, I've always loved it, but I've really been loving it this past year. I allowed myself to pick up both. Long story short, so yeah, this one I've been loving for a while now. This one has, I feel like, less swirliness in it. So I feel like the ambient lighting powder is more like completely baked within each of the products, whereas this one is more like their traditional blushes, where you can see the ambient lighting powder is like swirled within the blush and the bronzer. Additionally, I really was interested in trying out some of their bronzers. They originally launched their bronzers like 3 years ago, and they had 2 colors. I didn't like either of them. They were orange and they were very, very glittery. So these are new colors. So this one in this palette is the Filtered Light Bronze, and then in this palette it is the Golden Bronze Light. So I have used this one. My only gripe about these palettes is the pans are so small that it's really hard to fit like a bronzer brush or an all over face powder brush in them because they are so tiny. I mean, like, my foundation cap is bigger than the pan size. I think that that's okay because it takes a very long time to finish these powders, but it's just hard to get a brush into them, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go into the Volume 4 palette and use this kind of yellowy color in the middle. So that is their Diffused Light Ambient Lighting Powder. This is the first time, this palette is the first time I have actually owned that particular color. I have owned Dim Light before, and I have like the little 3-pan palette that is part of their standard collection, but it doesn't have Diffused Light in it. And Diffused Light, as you can see, has a little bit of a yellowy undertone, which is perfect for setting under eyes. It just kind of gives a little bit of a brightening effect. And because it is an ambient lighting powder, it doesn't look cakey or like mattifying. It's just kind of like a natural, beautiful color. So there's that. I'll probably try to dig into these a little bit more a little bit later. I will say this palette, this middle color right here, is technically a finishing powder, but it's a little bit too dark for me to use as a finishing powder. It is the color Filtered Light. So kind of what I've been doing with that is I've been going in and doing like a slight contour on my face with it. Like before I go in with actual bronzer, just to kind of like, I'll say like a messy contour, just to kind of like give my face some, see the difference? Just a little bit of color. I kind of feel like that's the only way that I could really use this color powder. That's the only powder in this palette that I feel like, you know, I can't really use it for what its intended purpose is, which is a finishing powder. But if you are darker than me, medium to dark skin tone, this would probably work really well for you for various reasons. So luckily these powders, I mean, just because it's a finishing powder doesn't mean you can't use it as a bronzer or whatever. They're very versatile, very multi-purpose. I feel like I've been talking about these products forever, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, I'm gonna set my face now with the Too Faced Born This Way powder. I'm so excited about this because I feel like everybody talks about this and raves about how great it is. I do have the peach version of this, which is a Sephora exclusive, which is more of a mattifying powder, whereas this one is more of a like natural demi-matte powder again. So the box actually claims it's infused with coconut water, which is awesome, alpine rose, hyaluronic acid, I didn't know that. Our silky lightweight powder sets makeup for longer wear while providing a veil of perfecting luminosity. Ooh, there's a luminosity to it. Okay, so I was wrong. It's not a demi-matte. It's more like a natural luminous. Worries me a little bit, but we're gonna do it anyways. for a finish that's so natural, you'll think you were born this way. It says photo friendly also, which is good because that means there's no flashbacks. So, same packaging as the peach one. Now this one came out before the peach one. There's like these little children who live like across the hall from us in our apartment complex. They're twin boys. They're so cute, but they are so loud. And they like run through the halls like screaming all the time. And I get it, they're kids, but everything in those halls like echoes. And then of course the dogs bark and it's just a hot mess. So sorry about the dog barking situation. This doesn't seem to have a luminous finish. It just seems to be more of like a, maybe like a natural finish. I don't feel luminous. Like, you know how some powders are just glowy? This one's not glowy. So, at least I don't think so. Okay. It is translucent as well. They did expand the shade range of this. They have 3 different colors now. But this is the translucent one. So, I think they have like a medium and a deep one as well. We'll see how long that lasts. They usually start snoring, knocking things over. Okay, now I'm gonna do my brows. I'm actually gonna do these off camera because 1, it takes me a long time to do my brows, and 2, these aren't new products. They're the same products I use all the time, but it's the Benefit Ka-Brow, Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I'm off and on with this one. I will usually use either this or this. I don't use them in conjunction together, but I always incorporate my Brow Wiz. So I'm gonna go ahead and do them off camera and I will be right back. Okay, moving on to eyes. Now, originally I wanted to use my Natasha Denona Sunset palette because I have yet to use this on camera with you guys. You know what, I still might be able to. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more on the pinky side. So the last time I used this palette, well, that's not the last time I used it, but the last time I was on camera with this palette was when I was sitting on my bed and I filmed like my first ever Sephora purchases, my Sephora haul, my 13 by Halloween, and I had this palette and I used like the most sunset colors you could possibly use. So I used the yellow and this orange and this like maroon red, and it was just so pretty. But today I put this sweater on and I just kind of want to do almost like a, I don't want to say cool toned, but more of like a pink look. So I think maybe I'll focus on these 2 colors right here. And then I'll incorporate a glitter. So first time I've ever used this. It's the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow. I had to stalk the Sephora website to get any of these, you guys. Like, they were sold out everywhere. Sephora, Barney's, Hourglass, every single place that sold these was completely sold out. And so I had to stalk the website, and like one of them was available in stock at a Sephora that was like 40 miles away from me, and I seriously debated like going on my lunch break at work, and then I was like, can I get there and back in an hour? It's just, it was crazy. But I ended up getting my hands on Aura, A-U-R-A, and Reflect, I think is the other one. I have used Reflect, I haven't used Aura. So Aura, or is it Aura? I don't know. Is more of like a rose gold with a little bit of pink, which is why I was kind of like, okay, there's kind of like a little bit of pink in this shirt, pink, pink. Lily, I can hear you snoring. You're gonna get kicked out soon. So, oh no, I dropped some beads on the floor. Okay, my little brush container has beads in it and they get all over the floor. So I think I'm gonna go in with this pinky color. It's called Bermuda. Bermuda, Bahama. I'm actually going on my honeymoon next week, you guys. I'm so excited. We're going to the Bahamas actually, which is super, super fun. We took our honeymoon after our wedding. So traditionally people will take their honeymoon, you know, right after their wedding, like the day after their wedding, they leave for their honeymoon. But we did a destination wedding, as many of you guys know, and because of that, I mean, you can kind of consider that a honeymoon in and of itself, but we were with our family. And so, you know, most people don't take their honeymoons with their family. So we decided to go ahead and wait a couple of months. It'll be 3 months, almost 3 months exactly. Is that right? May, June, July, August, September, October. No, 5 months. What am I saying? We got married in May. So about 5 months after. Also financially, it just gave us more time to save up money, and it made sense for us. And we had to wait for hurricane season to be over. So we had our wedding in Punta Cana, which is also a tropical environment, and we had it at the end of May. And so that was like right before hurricane season started. Hurricane season starts in June. And so then we had to wait for hurricane season to end before we could go back to the tropics. I'm making this very, whatever, complicated. Anyway, so that color I just put kind of all over my lid, focused it on the crease mostly. Now I'm going to go into the color right above that, which is Volcano, V-U-L-C-A-N-O, Volcano. It's a matte color. Both of these are mattes, by the way. So yeah, anyways, so this color is perfect. It almost matches the like brownish taupe purple in my shirt. It almost matches it like perfectly. These Smith brushes are so good. So I'm also going to iMats Atlanta. So this is the first year that iMats is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. And I live in North Carolina now. So before I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was about a 6-hour drive to LA, Pasadena, you know, that area, which is where most of those beauty conventions are. So I had been to iMats, Fame Expo, Gen Beauty, all that good stuff in like the LA, Pasadena area, which was nice because it was only like a 6-hour drive from home. But now living in North Carolina, for me to go to LA, it's a big deal. It's like, you know, first of all, you have to buy a plane ticket. You have to get a hotel room. I have to take lots of time off of work. Whereas before I could, you know, maybe take a Friday off of work, drive up on Friday, or I could even drive up after work on Friday if I really wanted to. Go to the events on Saturday, Sunday, leave Sunday after the event to get home Sunday night, or take Monday off of work and drive home on Monday. And, you know, make it a long weekend or even just a weekend thing. But now I can't do that. If I want to go to any place in LA, it's like a vacation. It's like a big thing. Not to mention the cross-country flying, you know, it's 3 hours, 3-hour time difference. And so it's just not as easy anymore to go to things in LA, sadly. So, but now with Atlanta, what was I trying to say? I was going to talk about New York, which, okay, backing up a minute. There's also a lot of beauty events in New York, which of course is East Coast, and we've done New York. So we did Generation Beauty New York. Was it Generation Beauty? What's the one that Ipsy sponsors? Gen Beauty, yeah. We did that in New York last year, and it was so fun. It was awesome. New York City is just such a cool place. We got to do the whole touristy thing. I told you guys about it before. We saw the 9/11 museum, which is just like life-changing. Anyways, but even that it's on the same coast, so there's no time difference, but it was a 12-hour drive. So we had to take, and Matt went with me to that one. So we had to take Friday and Monday off of work, and, you know, Friday drive up there. We got there super late on Friday, so I couldn't go to like the creator party or anything like that. We got there and basically went to bed. And then, you know, anyways, and you can fly there, but then, you know, again, it's a big thing to do those things. So this year, Atlanta, iMats is going to be in Atlanta. So I'm super duper pumped about it. My sister-in-law is going with me. She actually lives in Atlanta, which is great because then we can go and, like, you know, I don't have to get a hotel room. I can stay with her and we can drive, and it's just, and we can drive to Atlanta. It's a 4-hour drive from Charlotte to Atlanta. So I don't have to buy a plane ticket. Matt can come with me. The dogs can come with us. They can stay, you know, at her house while we're there. And it's just, I'm so excited. So it's super convenient. Plus, it's the first time that iMats will be in Atlanta. So I kind of don't know what to expect. I actually don't know what the makeup scene in Atlanta is like. Like, I don't know if it's like LA. Is it like a big thing? I'll get back to that in a minute, but we talk about this for a second. I'm gonna dig into this Hourglass Scattered Light really quick. These are so stinking pretty, you guys. I like to use a flat kind of paddle brush for these because it is more of like a loose press. It's like a pressed pigment, I guess, is kind of what you can consider it. It's not like a, it's almost like a loose pigment. It's hard to explain, but you can't use like a fluffy brush because then it'll go everywhere. So I like to use these flat shader brushes. This is super pretty. And Lily is snoring right behind the camera. So if you hear like little moans and little snores, that is Lily. I'm gonna let her stay for now. Just because Matt's not here. I don't want her to be in the living room all by herself. That is beautiful, you guys. I'm gonna zoom in once I'm done so you can kind of see the finished look. But these are so pretty. And this is with no Fix Plus, no wetting the brush. This is just a dry flat shader brush. Holy moly, that is so pretty. Maybe I can at least like swatch it for you guys. Yeah, it's definitely like a loose pigment that's just like kind of pressed into the container. Oh my God, so pretty. Let me turn this light off. Look at that. It just catches the light in such a beautiful way. So beautiful. I'm gonna deepen up the crease just a little bit more with that same brown color, Volcano, and just kind of work this up to be a little bit more pigmented, just right on the outer V and just slightly dragging it into the crease. And I think that's all I'm gonna do to my eyes today. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat simple. But anyways, I don't know if like the makeup fashion scene is a big deal in Atlanta. I have no idea, you know what I mean? So I know when I went to IMATS in LA, I think I only went to IMATS once because I kind of vowed I would never go back because it is insane, you guys. Like, it is just so many people. It is queue after queue after queue of just waiting and waiting and waiting, and so many people. And I just remember I had like an actual, I don't say this lightly because I don't get them very often, but I had an actual panic attack. When we first walked in, I was with my friend Lily, and I remember telling her like, I can't breathe. There's so many people here. There's so much going on. So we went outside and just like that was like right when we first walked into, and I was like, oh my God, I need a break immediately. And I walked outside, you know, caught my breath and like kind of prepared myself because I wasn't prepared for that. I walked in thinking it was gonna be like I've been to expos before, like the Women's Expo and the Bridal Expos. So I kind of I walked in thinking it was gonna be like that, where yeah, there's a lot of people, yeah, it's busy, but it's not like you're smushed like sardines and it's just lines and lines of people. I wasn't expecting that, so I walked in and I was kind of like, oh my God, you know. Anyways, so I took a breather. I kind of prepared myself for what it was going to be like, and then we had a great time, and it was fine. But still, it was just so many people that you have to make it a 2-day event, or else you won't get to every booth. You kind of have to like game plan and say like, okay, we're gonna go to this booth first, and then this booth next, and it's madness. And I don't know if it's died down since then, because that was quite a while ago we went. I think that was 2014 that we went. So I don't know if it has died down or gotten worse or what. I know since then there have been more expos like introduced, so maybe people have like, I don't know. So more on that in a minute. I'm going to put one coat of mascara on because I think I want to do some falsies. I didn't get any falsies out. I've kind of just really been liking my Ardell's lately, my Ardell Demi Wispies. So I might just pull those out. I kind of had them just like chilling in my lash drawer. So I might, gotta pick the glue off of them. I'm actually almost done decluttering my collection. I've done all the major things that I'm gonna film. So this past weekend, and you guys will see all of these slowly filter into my channel. I didn't want to upload them all at once because I don't know, I just didn't want my channel to turn into a declutter channel. I still want to do things like this. So you'll see them kind of one or two a week kind of filter into my channel. But anyways, Last weekend I filmed all of my lip products, which was the last bit of decluttering I had to do. And I put some on my Poshmark. So if you guys follow my Poshmark, you got a sneak peek at what I decluttered. But anyways, the last thing I kind of want to declutter and look at is this lash drawer. Not to say I want to get rid of lashes, but I just feel like I kind of want to look at the lashes I have and like reevaluate. I have a lot of Lily lashes. I kind of went a little bit crazy and, you know, stocked up on Lily lashes, and they're great, but I feel like the Ardell ones are just easier. Like, they're just easier. They fit my lashes. I don't have to cut them. So anyways, yeah. So I don't know what IMATS Atlanta is going to be like. So we shall see. I'm kind of hoping it's not as crazy. I will only be going on Saturday because I do not have any time off of work. This year has been crazy with vacations, as you can imagine. So we got married this year, bachelorette party, and everything has been destination. And it's, you know, living away from family and having big events like weddings, every vacation you take is an actual vacation. It's not like a staycation. It's like you have to travel and go places, and so it takes up more time and more days. Whereas if I lived in Phoenix with my friends and my sister, you know, we probably could have very easily done like, you know, a smaller bachelorette party or driven to Vegas or something like that. But anyways, now with me living here and them living there, it's like we usually meet somewhere in the middle. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is we ran out of vacation days. And I'm going back to Phoenix for Thanksgiving too. So yeah, I'm only going on Saturday because we're going to drive to Atlanta Friday after work. And then I'm going to go to IMATS on Saturday, and then we're going to drive back on Sunday and then go back to work on Monday. So I'm not going to miss any work for it, which is great. But anyways, yeah, we'll see. If you guys are going, let me know. Also, if you're familiar with like the makeup or fashion scene in Atlanta, let me know. Is it gonna be crazy? Do I need to prepare myself for what it's like in LA, or is it gonna be different? Yeah, these lashes are just so perfect. I don't have to trim them. They just fit right out of the container. Okay, that was my bad. I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time, and it's not working. There we go. I focus a lot on the inner corner and the outer corner because I feel like if my lashes are gonna lift, it's gonna be in one of those two places. So I usually focus on those, and then I go with my, I hope that was in focus. I just looked at the viewfinder. Then I go in with my tweezers and I just kind of press along the lash band to make sure it's all in place. Then I'll usually line my lash band also. This is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is not new. This is an old product. You guys have seen me use it on camera before. Okay, perfect. Now for lower lash line, I think I'm just going to go back to Volcano, which is the brown, and buff that out. I don't know that I ever finished what I was saying about this brush. I've been jumping all over the place in this video. Yes, Smith Brushes is going to be at IMATS Atlanta, and that's one of the booths that I'm like really interested in going to and purchasing a couple more of this brush because it is just like the best all-in-one brush. It gets in the crease. I could do my lower lash line with it. There's a smaller version. This is the Smith 232. I've had this for a while. I got it at Fame Expo a couple years ago. So there's the 232 and then the 230, which is like a smaller version of it. Both of them are so good. So I'm actually really, really excited to go to the Smith booth and get a couple more of those. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Rockin' Coal. I talked about this in one of my favorites videos. It's in the color Barbarella Brown. It's just like they're almost like black brown. And I'm going to put this in my waterline. Okay, and then one coat of mascara on my lower lashes. I will say the one thing, so I talked about this mascara in my favorites video, I think the same video that I talked about this. And it's a very wet formula, and although it dries out, it still leaves like residue on the brush. So I feel like I have to kind of wipe it off on the tube like I was just doing so that I don't get like excess all over the place. Do you know what I mean? Because it can get really, really messy because it's such a wet formula. So, okay, a quick zoom in to show you guys what the eye look looks like. Super easy, super quick. You could definitely do it without the lashes, but I'm really, really loving these hourglass shadows. They're just so pretty, and it came out so perfect. Okay, so moving on to bronzer. So again, the problem with the pans, like this is my bronzer brush and this is the pan size, so it becomes a little bit difficult. So I think I'm going to maybe contour with the Hourglass palette. See, here's the, I mean, I guess I can kind of, it's just not as easy. You definitely will get some of the other products in there with it, you know what I mean? So I'm going to use my Too Faced chocolate, no, this is milk chocolate Soleil bronzer. An oldie but a goodie. Can you guys see that purpley blue in my hair right there? That purple shampoo is no joke. It was the Redken Blondage. I feel like, so I did a first impressions of it actually when I first got it, and my hair was much longer, but it wasn't as blonde. My hair wasn't as blonde, and I don't remember it doing this to my hair. Like, I don't mind, I really don't. My fear when you use a purple shampoo is that once it starts to fade, your hair will start to look green. Because you think about it, blue, which is like the undertone of blue purple shampoo, and yellow, which is what makes your blonde hair brassy, make green. So sometimes when it starts to fade, it starts to look green. So that's my fear, but I think it'll be okay. I actually am getting my hair done this coming Friday, right before honeymoon time, so she will probably tone it out for me anyways. There. Okay, so that's my Milk Chocolate Soleil. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit smaller brush. This is the one I used earlier. And kind of just like add some chocolate, chocolate Soleil is matte, whereas these of course have that ambient powder kind of woven within. So this is just going to add a little bit more of a dimension to it, I suppose. There we go. Nothing too crazy. I do have to say, another tangent subject here, I've been really into television lately, and I'm not a big TV watcher. I just feel like I honestly don't have the time, and when I do have the time, I'm usually doing something on my phone. So like replying to comments, or, you know, watching a YouTube video, or, you know, editing on my computer or something like that. So I haven't really been historically a big television person, but fall television this year has been like super good. I'll get back to that in a minute. Let's talk about blush. So I have a lot of blush options. Each of these comes with 2 blushes. So there's like an orangey, peachy blush there, more of like a berry kind of, yeah, we'll say berry nude color there. So that is, oh, that's actually a strobe blush. This is Euphoric Fusion, and the peach one is Luminous Glow. I don't have either of those. That's another reason why I allowed myself to buy these palettes, is there were colors that I don't own. I have a lot of Hourglass products. I have pretty much all of their blushes, so this was a way for me to try new products, new colors. And then this one, you have a peachy one and a pink one. So the pink one has actually been what I've been wearing the most, called Mood Flush. And then the peachy one is called Nude Blush. But I also, just yesterday actually, got this in the mail from Octoly and Laura Mercier. They gifted this to me for review purposes. It's their new blush. It's the blush color Fusion. So this is new. They just came out with this. It's supposed to be like a sheer buildable blush. So yeah, it actually says a sheer buildable blush that delivers 10 hours of natural looking cheek color. I got the color Rosé, so I actually think I'm gonna try this simply because I've never tried it before. Ooh, pretty color. Okay, I might layer blushes. I like to do that a lot too. So, okay, it's definitely sheer. I was worried because the pan makes it look, usually matte blushes like this are just like really, really pigmented. So I was kind of worried, but it is sheer and buildable just like it describes. So that's good. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna layer, that's really pretty. Really, really pretty. I'm gonna layer it with this one right here, which is the Euphoric Fusion, which has a little bit of purpley in it, like a plummy berry maybe. So pretty. I love blush. I'm always very heavy-handed because I just love it. Okay, and then I learned this trick from watching Jaclyn Hill. I don't know how much it actually does, but she goes over her cheeks with dim light, which is actually in the Volume 4 palette. I have dim light in a single pan, but I'm gonna use the palette because why not? So she goes in with dim light and just blushes it or brushes it, whatever, on the apples of her cheeks, like on top of her blush to just add a little bit of glow. Okay, these also have highlights in them. So this one has this color here, which is called Euphoric Strobe Light. And then this one has this color right here, which is called Metallic Strobe Powder, Champagne Strobe Light. I think I'm gonna use the Champagne Strobe Light because it's a little bit more pow than the other one. Ooh, so pretty. Love it. I also brought my Dior highlighter out just in case, but I think this is probably gonna be enough. So yeah, I have been loving fall television lately. The show Manifest, it's only like 3 or 4 episodes in so far, is so good, you guys. I highly recommend it. If you have no idea what it's about a plane that hit some really bad turbulence, and when it landed, it was like 5 years later in the world. Like everybody they knew, all their family and everything had aged 5 years, but they hadn't aged a day. So everybody at home thought they died. They thought the plane crashed. They thought the people disappeared. So when the plane landed, it was like this magical, like, oh my God. And yeah, so everyone that they know is 5 years older, but they're the same age. And it creates this really cool like interaction with people because like there was twins. So there was a twin on the plane and a twin back home. And so now one of the twins is 5 years older and the other twin is still like a kid. And so it's interesting. And because of this whole experience, they all have these like telepathic, magical, whatever powers. And it's just, oh, it's so good. I'm gonna set my makeup really quick. There's also A Million Little Things that started recently, and that one's really good too. I think that one's on ABC. I don't know what channel Manifest is on. We just have it on our DVR. But A Million Little Things is really good. This Is Us came back, which is like my favorite. Walking Dead came back, and it used to be my favorite, but I kind of just want it to end now, if I'm being honest. Okay, done with the face. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a lipstick. Okay, so for lips, I'm actually going to use a lipstick that I've had for a while and I just kind of rediscovered via my Declutter series. It's the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the color The Duchess. It's so pretty. I actually swatched it right there. And then the lip liner I have that is the closest match is the Kylie Cosmetics Coco K. And that I swatched right next to it on the bottom there. And that's probably the closest match I could find. I've actually never used this Kylie lipstick on my lips before, so this is a first for me. That went on very, very smoothly. So now the lipstick. Oh, so pretty. Okay guys, I'm gonna step away and do my hair really quickly and I will be right back. Alright guys, so here is the finished look with my hair. I curled it today. I think I definitely like the short hair better when it's curled as opposed to straight. It takes longer to curl my hair now that it's short than it did when it was long. How do you figure that, right? But anyways, I do really, really, really like this makeup look. I love the eye look. I just love those hourglass pigments. So nice. Yeah, this looks really, really good. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. And now it's time for honeymoon. All right, guys, happy fall, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.